The saying goes, as unpredictable as the weather, but yes, we are here on a mission and it has to be accomplished against all odds. Even the weather. Ibanda, here we come, ready to take on the challenge. Coming up on Seeds of Gold.
Of course, beekeeping is one of the projects that have money. You simply make these beehives, you put them here. You don't buy bees, you don't buy water, you don't buy rent, you put them here and go to town. Beekeeping doesn't need a person to have gone to school or to have not gone to school.
Simon Abanyu decided to make money right from his birthplace. Simon comes from a humble background and his mother has always been around to give support.
We have been in the sector for a longer time because I started it in 2002 when I was 12 years. So I started by making omani the pots. So when they could when they could boil beans and the other one and it gets spoiled, they put it behind the house. For me, I could take it to the bush. Then I hang it, the bees in 1-2 days they are there. So I was later introduced to a person here in this village, nearby there, that side, that house there, who makes these ones, the local ones. So my mother inspired me to go and visit him and see how he works. Because I had the interest, I went there for the first time. I noticed the art. When I came back, it was Friday, then on Sunday, I went to the forest, I cut the trees, I tried to do what he was doing. I smeared the cow dung. When I put it there, within 1 week, bees were there. So I kept advancing as time went on.
A graduate in development studies and just 28 years old, Simon has decided to make a difference. His determination to succeed will not leave you the same.
When we could leave for schooling, in weekends for me I was around. I was studying from nearby. So we could go to the school, then the weekend I come back, I make 1 hive, 2. So in the whole days I could have enough time to make many. I could make enough in the whole days. I say to them, by the time I leave the beehives hanged, when I'm coming back after 3 months, in the whole days, I could find honey in the beehive. I harvest, I make others, I sell, and I go back. So like that. The trend kept on like that until I improved it to 50. So by the end of senior 4, I had 107 local ones. When you leave these beehives in a bush like this, and you go at school without any person who can cater for them, they get spoiled because of rainfall, termites, and even the forest can bring the insects and whatnot. So I kept on losing them. So I had to think about improving. That's when I was helped by some of the development partners to attend training in Makerere and in Kenya to understand how to do improved ones that can stay for a longer time.
Bees are the only insects that produce food eaten by man. Honey is the only food that includes all the substance necessary to sustain life, including water. With these facts, I had a reason enough to embark on this journey and find out exactly how this is done. All is ready to take you through the steps on beekeeping and how honey is harvested. Well, first things first, there are rules you must follow while putting on the safety overall. Simon takes me through.
This is a mistake. You cannot dress here and do this and you cover up. When you harvest like 10 or 15 or 20 beehives, this one, as you are lifting and you're doing all of that, this one might loosen here. And when it loosens, the bees will keep passing here. So you get challenges. So you have to tighten it in this format. Are you getting it? Then you bring this up, you cover to make sure it is safe. Here, even if you harvest 1,000 beehives, nothing, no problem.
As we get close to the home of our sweet hosts, the bees, we have to fully dress up and get ready to do the job. Caution, you need this smoke. It's not for decoration. It helps to calm down the bees.
Some time back, we used to harvest using fire. But the fire makes the bees die. And when they die, it makes sure, it means that we are losing business. We had to improvise and find ways of how we can protect the bees, and we come up with very good honey. So we had to develop this kind of a machine called a bee smoker. It is used to calm the bees in a beehive, and it does not bring ash to the honey. You know, when you use fire and you light in fire, the ash of the other, supposing you're using like dry banana leaves as you are seeing, those banana leaves must leave ash in the honey. That's why some honey on the market, when you get a bottle and you change it upside down, you will see some ash. That's an indication that they use fire when they are harvesting.
And these are the principles of honey harvesting.
One, no making enough noise, because we assemble these beehives in a distance of 4 meters, 4 foot from one beehive to another one. You can see. So if you make a noise and you are working on this one, the bees on the other one will come and attack you, and attack the neighbors.
While harvesting the honey, one needs to be gentle with the bees. Don't hit any, because they can all descend on you in a furious attack.
We attack the bees from the front. The reason is the queen lives near where the holes are. So when you put the smoke near the holes, the smoke will make the queen get like tear gassed. It will lose conscious. When it loses conscious, it will not inform the other, the workers or the guards, those are types of bees in a beehive, to fight, because it has not informed them. So if they are not informed that they are being attacked, they become easily, and you get what you want in a good way. We put the smoke gently, like this. So after that, then we change and open this side of the opposite side where the honey is always. So we come here, we open. In this, if you smoke the bees, they cannot go in a distance of 10 meters around. So meaning that the neighbor, you can be here harvesting when the neighbor is on the other side doing his gardening. So after putting enough smoke, you can see now the bees are no longer there. So what we do like this. You cut this comb. This comb has 2 types of honey. This one is a ripe honey, the sealed one. We call it capped one. And this one is an unsealed one. Here, the indication is this honey, when you measure the moisture content using a machine called refractometer, I will show it on the shop. This one weighs between 7, and this one weighs between 21 to 25. This one, and the capped one. Then this one, which is capped, weighs between 17 to 19. So this is what we call mature honey here. We separate this one. Are you getting it? We put it in its own bucket and this one in the other bucket. So for purposes of quality assurance and to maintain the quality of honey we want. As you can see what I'm doing here, you cut a comb, you don't leave it to fall. Because when it falls in a beehive, there are some bees or some dirt which is in a beehive, which the bees are trying to get out of the beehive. So when the comb is cut and falls into that dirtiness, they will make the honey not very clear.
The local beehives stand many advantages compared to the modern timber ones.
But here, honey can be faster, can grow very faster, because the beehive is warm, of course of the other cow dung which is made out of this. It makes the beehive warm and gives the enough environment to the bees to work all the time. Meaning that you can even harvest in these beehives 6 or 5 times a year, in contrary to the other ones, the so-called improved one or flammable beehives. The production here in this beehive ranges from 5 kilograms to 17. Are you getting it? Because of this, as I said, this one is warm most of the times.
What happens after the mature honeycombs have been removed? I got a chance to follow the cycle of the bee. And just like any other insect, the bee has a cycle of 14 days to maturity.
When you reach at a certain step like this, you stop from there because you are remaining with the combs that are for younger ones. So the moment you keep removing the combs with the brood, the younger ones, it means you are reducing on the number of bees that are going to be there tomorrow. And I told you, between 40 to 46 days, the number of bees you can see here, they will have died and others will be there. So if you remove the young ones, we shall lack we shall limit the multiplication of the what? Of the bees. The queen can last between 2 years to 4, depending on the conditions in the beehive and the environment.
When we return, there is still more to explore on how to work with modern beehives. After harvesting, the beehive must be covered at all times, otherwise you open your business to certain risks.
When you leave a beehive uncovered like this, it is very, very serious and a mistake. It affects the production because the bees will put honey in 2 different parts. They will put here because they are entering from here, and they put the other side. So for you, when you come to harvest, you will find honey here like 2-3 combs, and you think that you have finished harvesting, when actually there is much more honey their side.
At his level, although Simon can afford the modern way of beekeeping, he is still holding on to the traditional methods. As for you who want to start, he makes it easy for you.
We emphasize that a person to do beekeeping, you should not even need to put in money. We normally advise you to use locally available materials to do this, and you produce like the other person who have invested in a lot of money. They have too much production, but they also need enough care. So you have to make sure that you put a person. For example, for me who is staying in town, you saw my boys there. You can see that the farm is clean. There's no need of a bush in a farm because this is a business. You cannot leave your shop unswept. So this is how we handle them locally. So we try to do this to show a person who wants to start, who does not manage the settling tanks, who does not manage to buy the harvesting buckets and tanks. You can use your saucepan as you are using. You sell honey. When you sell honey, you keep on investing much in the business by buying the other ones on the improved science and technology. Here I have 30 beehives and this small one, and it can fit within 10 by 15 by 10. So it is 10 by 15 feet. An arrangement that a beehive from 1 foot to 3 foot, 1 foot to 4, you can put 2 beehives. So it depends on on which portion of land you have and the budgeting. Each beehive costs between 100 to 120. This is too much money. So you cannot leave your money in an open place like that. So you have to make a fence like this. Is very important in beekeeping because it safeguards very many things. We want that if you are inspecting, you can come, you open it, you check in, you either clean or you harvest at ease. That's the reason as why we set it in this format.
When doing business, you need to think on your toes to be able to manage the changing scene of this world. Simon has 234 beehives, but please note, they are spread between Ibanda and Bushenyi. Forget that you have small land where you are. You can buy land elsewhere, borrow or lease and still invest. It's all about planning.
The number of the bees in a place will determine how much beehives you will put there. Not the number of beehives to fit in the bees. This is because one bee can pollinate between 500 to 700 flowers a day. So when you put too much beehives in a place and there is limited forage or limited plants to provide enough food. So what you do if you want to expand, you have to diversify the apiaries. You put a farm like here, You put another one in 4 or 5 kilometers as I have another on the other side. I have another one on the other side of the other mountain. So I have 4 apiaries here. Whenever you put a beehive, the bees have to get food and water in a radius of 2 to 5 kilometers. So you have to distance into those places for you to get enough honey.
One beehive produces 1 to 12 or 16 kilograms, which makes 10 to 13 liters of honey per harvest. How do the bees get into the farmable beehives? Simon explains the transfer process.
So what normally happens here, if we have bees here, and here we don't have bees, what we normally do, we transfer this comb that has honey and replace it with this one that has no bees. So the bees you have carried from here into this one which has been empty, we'll start feeding this one, the younger ones we have put here with the food called royal jelly. It is the food for the royals. So they will start feeding it from the first day to the 4th day. On the 5th day, one of these which will have matured will kill the remaining ones and multiply and take over the beehive as a new queen generated. That's how we generate a new queen here.
Normally, what is the harvest like? Give us examples, Mr. Abanyu.
The flowering here is not determined by only trees. We have 3 phases of flowers we want our bees to use. We use grass, we use shrubs, and we use trees. But as you know, trees can flower for a longer time. Of course, you know grass is too much. Bees get too much nectar to make the combs and to make the little honey. So when shrubs flower, the bees start filling all the other formulated combs with too much honey and making of evaporation of water in the honey. So when trees start flowering, it means the bees will get enough materials to seal the honey that has been formulated, and that is when we start harvesting our honey. So it is in phases.
Bees pollinate 90% of the flowering crops. For you who want to engage in only the improved beekeeping, check this out.
Bees move from here, they go in a radius of 5 kilometers, they get nectar or food on water, they come back here, and no one will blame you for your bees visiting their farms or whatnot. So we want at least people to get money with the little area or little land they have.
With passion and interest, one can achieve a lot in life. For something he started as a hobby, it has earned him money worth 20 to 26 million from the farms or apiaries and between 10 to 35 million from the trainings they offer as a company. Please don't forget, Simon is only 28 years of age. You too can make it in life. Just focus and work hard.
I started younger, that is true, because I was doing it as a hobby. Because I used to liking taking honey, and I used to like money. And as I told you when you were coming, our capacity to access money was hard. And for me, I felt I could own my money. So I said, this is what I can do.
He is now making 16 years in beekeeping, a business he started at 12. What has Simon been able to achieve?
We have close to 35 acres of land, and 17 acres of those are covered by plantations of trees. And you have seen we built. So we have very many. We have a shop. We have too much plots of land in town. So all of them from what? So I can encourage that a person should start small. Money is there, depending on how you package yourself and how you tell people the truth. People want to see results, not reasons.
Under normal circumstances, challenges in life are meant to make us better people. What could be some of the challenges faced in beekeeping as a business?
This is a sector that is affected by nature, climate. As much as you get too much rainfall, the production reduces and you get too much damages. in terms of these local beehives. So when you get too much drought, bees will lack what to eat, like they will lack nectar. And when they lack nectar, they will abscond. They go to different places to look for food. As you know, you cannot remain in a place without food. So that one has affected us. And for example, in the last drought, for us we lost 78 colonies here. And that is too much loss to us. We have challenges of financing, of course.
Any future plans, Simon? What more should we expect?
We are targeting 17 districts in Western Uganda. That each district wants at least an apiary of 100 farms, 100 beehives. We want a target of at least 10,000 beehives in the next 5 to 10 years, with a motive to export our honey. Because currently in Uganda we produce between 12 to 13 metric tons of honey, and we consume beyond what we produce, meaning that the production is still limited by very many factors. We want to improve pollination and food security with a motive to export our honey. Because currently in Uganda we produce between 12 to 13 metric tons of honey, and we consume beyond what we produce, meaning that the production is still limited by very many factors. So we have plans to build a very big processing unit and a very big office in Mbarara, where we can at least produce a minimum of 100 to 500 boxes of honey per week.
Before I could head back to Kampala, I had to see where and how Simon has added value to beekeeping. I visited his small processing unit as he explains a few more details.
We get raw honey in this format from the farm. This is a simple harvest of processing it. You get a knife and break it in this format. You get your sieve. The sieve has to be of this type. You can see the holes, you cannot easily identify the hole. Because we want the honey that we produce to be very clear, as you see this one, with no particle. That is the reason as to why we use sieve of this type. We make sure that this extractor is very clean, as you see. So from there you get this very clean, and you see it. Fold our sieve, we put it there. And put it in this format. You wait for between 10 to 15 or 20 minutes, depending on the viscosity of the honey. So when you are doing this, you are sure that the bees will not be falling here.
Bees products are quite many. For example, the wax is what is used in the newly set up hives to attract the bees inside.
So as you can smell on it, it smells honey. So this is wax now. So we get this, as you can see, we have been smashing it and putting it in these beehives. So when you make a box like this, and you don't put in this wax, you have 99 chances of not getting the bees.
Bee venom is medicinal and worth being in every household.
So this is a portion of a dose. A dose you should have 3. It works very much on strengthening body immunity, reducing viral load for those who have HIV and whatnot. It kills cancer cells in the body. So it is too much of medicinal. This one is called propolis. This is raw propolis. So we process this propolis. As you can see, it is sticky. It is and processed this to make this propolis tincture. It is used to strengthen body immunity. Following only beehive product, nothing is added there. We only process and pack. Can also work very well on cough.
After all the initiative to do beekeeping, where does one sell the honey? Interestingly, The market for honey is enormous, both in and out of Uganda. For example, Simon supplies honey and beeswax in Rwanda and Kenya. With this, they export between 1 to 2 tons monthly, depending on the orders received. However, the biggest market is local, mainly in Barara and neighboring towns in supermarkets and shops.
So we want to change the mind of the people that at least our honey has a difference between what is there. That is why for us we don't pack honey in those empty glass jars of warage. We use plastic packaging materials which are new, directly from the factory. We are not using those used up containers. We want at least a person to get something he wants, not a joke. So we are embarking on hawking, taking our products to people in Western Uganda. For example, like if they work in Mbarara today, tomorrow they work in Bushenyi, the other day work in Fort Potro, we have a van that takes them there.
So, farmers out there, do not hesitate to join the venture. Thank you very much for being a good viewer. Next week on the show, fish,